Welcome to OrangePaws-Stories, your home for inspiring and emotionally rich stories that help you learn English naturally, clearly, and joyfully. On this channel, we share meaningful tales using simple English and strong life lessons to help you build both your language skills and your mindset. Today, we bring you a story that will touch your heart and soul, a story about losing everything to find what truly matters. This is the story of a man who found God when everyone else had walked away. Thomas was a man who seemed to have it all. He was respected in his village, a loving husband, and a proud father of 2 wonderful children. His business was successful, and he was known for his kindness and generosity. Life was good, filled with laughter, purpose, and the warmth of family. But life, as we know, can be unpredictable. It can turn in ways we never expect, testing the very foundation of our being. And for Thomas, the turn was swift and devastating. Within a single year, the pillars of his world crumbled one by one. His wife, his partner in life, decided to leave him. It was a wound that cut deeper than any he had ever known. Then, his children, whom he adored more than anything, turned their backs on him, influenced by the turmoil. The pain of that rejection was almost unbearable. As if that wasn't enough, his business, the result of years of hard work, collapsed under the weight of financial trouble. Finally, the friends he had always counted on, the ones he had shared his life with, slowly drifted away, leaving him in a profound and deafening silence. Thomas lost everything. He went from being a respected man surrounded by love to a solitary figure on the margins of society. He found himself living alone in a small, ruined hut at the edge of the village. It was a desolate place, forgotten and ignored, where the only sound was the wind whistling through the cracks in the walls. Silence became his only companion. For the first time in his life, Thomas felt completely invisible, as if he had been erased from the world. He felt abandoned not just by people, but by fate itself. He spent his days in a haze of sorrow, replaying the memories of his old life, wondering where it all went wrong. The loneliness was a heavy blanket, suffocating him. He would look out at the village from his broken window, watching families laugh and friends gather, and a wave of despair would wash over him. He had no one to talk to, no one to share his pain with. He was truly, utterly alone. But it is often in our darkest moments, in the deepest abyss of our loneliness, that something extraordinary can happen. One cold, starless night, Thomas sat alone in the darkness of his hut. The silence was so complete, it felt like a physical presence. Overwhelmed by his despair, he whispered into the empty air, a question born from the depths of his soul. If everyone has left me, who is still here? In that moment of complete surrender, something shifted. Instead, a strange and gentle peace began to fill the small room. It was a quiet warmth that settled in his heart, a feeling of being held, of not being alone after all. For the first time in years, in that quiet, broken-down hut, Thomas felt the undeniable presence of God. It was a feeling more real and more powerful than anything he had ever experienced. Instead of continuing to drown in his sorrow, Thomas found a new kind of strength. He decided to rebuild, not for others, not to prove anything, but for himself, guided by this newfound faith. The process was slow, silent, and filled with purpose. He began to wake up with the sun, a new determination in his eyes. He started with the basics. With his own hands, he began to repair the broken hut, patching the roof, mending the walls. Every nail he hammered was a strike against his despair. He cleared the overgrown land around the hut and planted a small garden. Tending to the tiny seeds, watching them sprout, gave him a sense of hope and renewal. And every day he would pray, not with pleas for what he had lost, but with gratitude for what he had: the air in his lungs, the strength in his hands, the peace in his heart. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. The man who once had nothing now had a profound sense of purpose. He was no longer defined by his losses, but by his quiet, steady efforts. The transformation was not just external. The hut was slowly becoming a home, but more importantly, Thomas himself was being rebuilt from the inside out. People in the village started to notice the change. They saw the humble man who never complained, who worked silently from dawn till dusk. They saw a peace in his eyes and a gentle smile on his face that hadn't been there before, even when he had everything. His quiet dignity and unwavering spirit began to command a new kind of respect. Slowly, opportunities began to find him. It started with small jobs, a repaired fence here, a tended garden there. Thomas accepted each task with gratitude and performed it with honesty and diligence. His reputation for patience and hard work grew. Soon, the small jobs led to bigger ones. People trusted him, not just for his skills, but for his character. With time, perseverance, and his unshakable faith, Thomas built a new business. It started small, but grew steadily, built on a foundation of integrity and wisdom. Eventually, it became far greater and more successful than the one he had lost. Thomas became not only one of the richest men in the village, but also one of the wisest. People would often come to him for advice, not just about business, but about life. And he would share the simple truths he had learned in his solitude. He would often say, "When people walk away from you, God walks toward you. The pain that breaks you is the same pain that shapes you." His small hut, once a symbol of his despair and isolation, became a beacon of hope for the entire village. It stood as a powerful reminder that with faith, patience, and hard work, you can rebuild not just a house, but an entire life. It showed everyone that sometimes losing everything is the only way to find what truly matters. Thomas's story teaches us that our lowest point can be the solid ground on which we build our greatest comeback, and that even in the most profound loneliness, we are never truly alone. Thank you for joining us at Orange Paw Stories. We hope this story has inspired you. If it touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more meaningful stories to help you learn and grow. We'll see you in the next video.